So The Boys season 4 episodes 1 through 3. So Amazon gives us 3, and then once a week after.
Once a week after that. It looks like it's only 8 episodes.
Which makes you wonder why they released something like Fallout, which is like done really, really well for them. That they released that all at once. I think they did with season 1 of The Boys. They did that, and then it got like review bombed because like every season after that, it's been the first 3 episodes, and then weekly. But
you got to believe that the creators of the show have some sort of say in it, like at least some sort of say.
Yeah, well,
I know they probably can't choose what night it's on, but who gives a shit?
I
It's
would
streaming.
also like to address the fact that this show, I have seen some people criticize the subtlety of the show and saying that like it's not as subtle and it's more in your face about what it's doing. I would also like to point out that there was someone that was radicalized by Stormfront that shot someone in the 2nd season of this show. So it's always gone to those levels, and it's always shown that. It's just, yeah, it's more on the nose because Kripke, it said publicly, like, it's not, like, if you want to call it woke, go ahead, because clearly I'm not making the show for you.
Yeah.
And this show especially continues to be so good at what it does, and it's satire, and sometimes it's too good. And I think that it's also very funny that people with this season are finally starting to understand that they're like, oh, we've always been the bad guys.
Homelander's not supposed to be the good guy.
He's always been Trump, and it's always been that kind of thinking has been the problem. And I mean, and I don't think they've watched the same show because that's been there this whole time. It's been there in all 4 seasons.
It's been very, very clear. Look, from the moment that the Deep makes Starlighter suck his dick. Yeah.
Just like in the book, that's the tone. Like that's what we're going for. That's what this is. And
if you haven't figured that out by now, and here's the thing, like a lot of people that watch this show, there's a lot of true life things that go on. If you don't understand that 3 out of every 5 women that you know has had a situation like that in their lives, then you're blind or you're willfully ignorant. Okay? I know the stats. I worked for the Women's Crisis Center out in Denver for for like a year. But you got to understand that, like, I mean, all of you out there calling shit woke are because you don't want to take the time to evolve as a human being. You're just stuck in your ways, and I don't fucking have time for it. Fuck off. If you want to be a shitty human, that's fine, but I'm going to fucking call you a shitty human being, okay? I'm fucking tired of it. It's just every time I see anybody now, like, with that shit, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to be like, hey, you got a Trump sticker on your car. Fuck you, asshole. You fucking piece of shit.
Anyway.
Sorry, let me get off my soapbox.
Thank you. So I love that these first 3 episodes were introduced to Sister Sage, who is the smartest person on the planet.
Smartest woman. Smartest person.
Smartest person.
That's great. I like her a lot.
She is
the actress playing her is really good.
She is the scariest,
right?
Because she's the best villain because she's the smartest person on the earth. So she's the most calculated. She knows how to enact this plan. And I think is in the 2nd episode. We're gonna kind of jump around a lot. So
you like?
When this new arc that we see in the first 3 episodes, Homelander's on trial. We also see that the woman with the head, she makes the heads explode. She's
Vicky.
Vicky.
We just watched it.
Yeah, Newman is celebrating a victory because it's getting closer to the election and how they're closer to him, Singer winning the presidency, and he's fucking pissed because he knows she's a soup, and he's like, we can't have a soup this strong, this close to the White House.
Yeah, because he knows he's dead if they get elected.
Yeah. And so that's all happening, and they're trying to set up the boys are trying to set up a situation where they can trap her because they think they can kill her using acid. So they lure her outside. Butcher also fucks up because he's not supposed to engage because Homelander shows up.
Well, they all
to
show up.
support
They all show up, and
Newman.
it's supposed to be an undercover operation at this banquet. And Homelander shows up, so they're like, "Well, shit, we can't get it
Because he's
to her."
showing support to
So then-
Newman to be like,
So
hey.
then she fucking finds Huey because she's not dumb,
Yeah.
and she opens the thing, and he actually starts to kind of, okay, and then he's just like, "Vicky, fuck you," and he throws the acid on her, but it doesn't work.
Burns her clothes, and she's like,
But
you're fucking
Butcher,
pathetic.
Butcher fucking shoots her in the head. Nothing.
Just ricochets, almost hits Huey.
Yeah.
She's like, do some better fucking research. And
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of moving pieces in these first 3 episodes, and just like the first 3 seasons, the first 3 episodes of season 4 are full of surprises and some not so surprises. The confrontation between Firecracker and Starlight in Firecracker's apartment.
So this is what I think is interesting. I think the whole thing with Gen V, I think there's a lot of criticism of like, okay, you're becoming what you're mocking. You're becoming what you're parodying because now you have a spinoff. But I don't think Gen V is going to go past the 2nd season because now we know The Boys isn't going past the 5th season. The plan is always supposed to end in 5 seasons. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because of where this 3rd episode ends, of how they tie things together. And I want to push back on that because I think this is also an example of like, if you do it right and it works well in the world and you're not asking too much. I mean, you're asking, yeah, they're hour-long episodes, they're 8 episodes, but they're, it's once a week. And I know there's a lot of shit that you can watch, but I think that this is an example of how you can do it well and not be like overbearing, where you make someone feel like, oh, you have to do so many hours of homework. Like, you don't necessarily need to watch Gen V to enjoy season 4. So like you could have completely seen it or ignored it. It wouldn't make any difference. It does kind of factor in, and it's going to more later in the season, I think. But so far, there's just been references to it.
Yeah.
Like, Homelander drops, he knows about the virus that's at Godolphin, or Godolphin, excuse me, and all that. But, again, I keep jumping around. So that first episode is mostly to kind of, again, reset the stakes of what's happening, because he's about to go out with Newman. He's also about to take Ryan out. And before he goes with that Ryan, he goes, remember what I told you, humans are toys for our amusement. Yep. And this is truly where we're at after season 3, where Homelander truly believes in his own
bullshit.
Yeah, his own genocidal rhetoric, where he believes soups should dominate the world and make humans submissive. Yeah. Which, honestly, all the criticism of how much this show changes from the comics, which, again, I think I personally enjoyed from the comics that I read. I just wasn't into it, and I prefer the show a lot more. Yeah. I still think they're going to go the route, and this is just my overall prediction, and especially with the first 3 episodes. I think we're going the route that the books go in, where it gets to a point where, spoilers for the books, I guess, pizza time for the books. There's a point where Homelander kills the president of the United States and takes over the United States. But Butcher kills him. But Butcher is also responsible for a lot of really bad shit, and Butcher eventually becomes the main villain of the story in the last, 5 issues of the book. I think that's where they're going with this show. However, I do think Butcher is trying to do right, but I think it's going to end up where he's going to fuck up again and do something bad.
Love seeing his butthole in that picture.
Yeah. First episode, you see a butthole. That's great. Our second episode, I think.
Yeah.
There's also some criticisms because in these first 3 episodes, Frenchie meets this guy named Colin, and he has a relationship with him. People are complaining that they feel like that came out of left field.
Well, it's not gay, it's bisexual.
Well, he's bisexual, yeah, but
and to be honest,
but they feel
I felt like he was like that all the time.
I think a lot of people thought it was weird because he spent so long chasing after Kimiko.
Yeah, but Kimiko doesn't want him.
But Kimiko, I think at some point he would be like, yeah, she's
well,
not
this is how the
interested.
chuds are going to. This is how the chuds are going to
She also says, and they have a healthy moment where she says,
"Go put your dick somewhere.
This is not happening.
Yeah,
we're not gonna. I don't see you in that way. I see you as a friend, very close
So
friend, but I
here's-
don't
yeah.
see you as someone I want to have a sexual relationship.
So here's how the chuds are going to spin it is, look what happens, girls, when you turn guys down for sex. They turn to guys to fuck. That's how they're going to spin it. Guaranteed.
Sure, probably.
Guaranteed.
Yeah.
Which is not the case at all.
But it's actually more fucked up if you think about it, because you find out later that the Colin that he's been hooking up with was orphaned by him. Back when he was a fucking assassin. He killed his whole family.
Yep. The tripping stuff was pretty funny in episode 3. Where
They
she
got really
splits the
fucking
guy's head open and bubbles come out.
Yeah, that was fun. But
That was
again,
fun.
it continues.
Violence
No,
is fun.
it continues to be. Well, that's what this show does a great job of knowing how to use violence in the right ways,
Mhm.
and it's gory in the right ways. It's gratuitous in the right ways. Where at times, like we've talked about when we talked about with Gen V, where there are times in this show in these first 3 episodes. Let's just say that we're Umbrella just talking about the first 3 episodes. Fuck it.
Fuck it.
Because I can't keep it because there's so much shit I want to talk about.
Was that season 1? Was that episode 1
and
or 2?
there's so much shit happen. But like again, it just shows the violence at times being shocking and crazy, but also at the same time being funny and ridiculous and over the top and being like, oh, like it just works because of how insane the world is.
I think if you go into the show expecting, if there's any criticism I have for the first 3
It's
episodes,
always been gross and violent.
if there's any criticism I have for the first 3 shows, the skating thing was a little gratuitous. But I saw that, to me, it was a commentary on, evangelical Christians, okay? Now, Jesus himself in the play causes, 3 other deaths himself,
Yeah.
but by escaping, and running over that girl's fingers and slicing that dude's neck open and shit.
So when they do the
It's not subtle, but it is. Evangelical Christians are going to fucking kill us all if they don't get what they want, which is bullshit.
Well, I think it's an expression of what this show has been driving at this season of like, the Soups are portraying themselves as okay.
They're going the
Homelander-
alt-right route.
Homelander is being openly supremacist, Soup supremacist,
Because there's enough fuckfaces crawling up underneath the rocks
and
to
he's
support
getting
him, just like Trump.
great response from it, exactly. And so they're emboldened to be like, okay, we can act like these disgruntled, angry gods and rule over these peasants and do whatever we can, fuck them and kill them and destroy their lives, do whatever we want because we're gods. We're better than them. It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
And it's like, you're starting to see that with the Deep when he talks to Ashley because she disrespects him. And then
Sage tells him to.
Sage just got in the elevator's like, here's genetically superior human being. Show your dominance.
Yeah.
And then, he gets in her face where he's like, I'll fucking drag you down to the deepest parts of the waters and shit. And it's like, geez, man. Which is funny because it comes from him.
I'll drown you in your own toilet.
Yeah, even coming from him, who just did that. Which is, again, even better throughout these 3 episodes, shows you how good of a satire and comedy it is. Because Chase Crawford is so good at playing the Deep that you start to laugh at things and sympathize him for a second, and then you remember, he fucks an octopus for one. The previous episode, he fucking beat some people to death with a baseball bat, and then you kind of laugh at it for a second. Then you remember, like, oh yeah, he's a horrible person. No, he's still a shitty person.
Yeah, the Deep should not be redeemed at all.
Yeah,
Neither should Homelander.
yeah.
And neither should Firecracker.
But then
That shit, I know it's in the Jew part of the Bible, but it's still in the Bible. That part was fucking hilarious.
Usually you'd be like, man, we're in the 4th season. You were talking about doing this in 5 seasons, and you introduce a character as a new antagonist. But Sage's introduction is so well done because, again, she is so smart in a world full of idiots. But because the idiots are in charge, she can manipulate them so easily.
Mm-hmm.
And
what do we see at the very end of?
Because in the 2nd episode, Homelander shows up to her house in civilian clothes and just says, hey, what would you like? She's like, I don't want to be on your team. I don't recruit you. He's like, okay, fine. But if you had the ability to, if you were to do what I want to do, where I want to take over and dominate these people, how would you do it? And then she kind of describes it and just, again, says how it just, humans are stupid and It just takes the right push in the
Like
right
Caesar.
direction. Like Caesar. We can have someone destroy it and then say they'll claim it to rebuild and make it better. And so she becomes so she starts helping him enact it because she goes, your ego wouldn't let me work with you, is what she says to his face. And he goes, yeah, but my ego would still let me listen, and I would listen to you, pretty much. And even in that moment, as I'm watching it, and then she still joins up with him, I still said, I said to Ashley, I said, I think he's going to kill her, and he's going to fuck everything up, and that's going to give him this is where we finally see him start losing again, and like he's going to kill her at the end of the season or something, because in the next, I noticed that first confrontation with them, and it keeps playing out throughout the episodes where he's too stupid and Homelander has too much pride. Again, just like Trump, however you want to draw the comparisons, whoever. Hey, doesn't just have to be Trump. Any fucking moron leader who thought he was smarter than he ever was.
Any alt-right shithead, really.
Yeah.
Alex Jones,
fucking
dude. Ben
Bolsonaro,
Shapiro, whatever.
fucking whoever
fucking
you want to insert in there.
Fuckface,
fucking
whatever.
Putin, whoever you want to fucking put in there.
Yeah, fucking nerdrotic.
Douche fucking losers.
Shit, whatever.
Douche.
Melanie Mac, shit.
Whoever.
Fuck.
But...
Take your fucking pick. They're all making money, for fuck's sake, so you know you're watching them. Not our listeners, but some.
Regardless, but I think that confrontation is gonna happen, because unless they have a conversation where she lobotomizes herself, or it looks like she does sometimes, to just be normal to her in her minds, or like dumb her.
I'm willing to bet
slow her brain down.
I'm willing to bet that just like the girl in Gen V, I can't remember her name. Bug? No, it wasn't Bug.
But the girl that could...
Yeah, but she figured out during the season that she could get bigger, like bigger, by eating a lot. But she already knew that to get small, she has to purge, she has to puke, she has to make herself puke. I'm willing to bet, and this would be great characterization, if it wasn't that she does it to feel normal, but it's that at some point her brain like threatens to, whatever. So that's a defense mechanism, and then the brain heals up. So she has to do it every so often. To get it back to at least some semi-normal speeds or what. I don't really know how the brain works. Obviously, not a lot of us do. But that would be it would be better if it was that kind of tragedy for her. Like, that makes her story a lot more tragic. Like, she's the smartest person in the world, but every so often she has to make herself, like, super dumb for, like, a week, because otherwise her brain's going to kill her.
Kill everything, yeah.
Yeah, like, whatever. Or explode.
It's the whole thing. The smartest mind is just going to experiment too much and explode. Because she joins Homelander because he says, I can offer you to try this experiment. And he... it's still smart enough to use that, because that is when you're a curious, smart mind, you always want to experiment and learn and it's just she's been the scariest addition to the whole thing, because you constantly see her plans get set in motion. Yes, they get altered and changed because A-Train finally did something good, and where they framed the Starlight protesters, he gave him the footage to prove that.
I got to be honest, like
the dead bodies
were
planted.
When she walks up with her, Starlighter gear on, and then just throws a drink and says fascist and walks back and just kind of fades back into the crowd. Yeah. That is the most sinister fucking villainy shit, dude.
Yeah,
that is fucking.
I just saw that and I'm like, damn.
She was.
I was like, this season is too real, man.
She's playing her, yeah.
But then you go to things like episode 2 where they have TruthCon, and it's this conspiracy theory convention.
Yeah, they show up at the Starlighter house. Where's the basement? I'm here to rescue the kids. Is there a parallel here?
That's the
we don't have
episode.
a basement.
But it's episode 2.
Whatever.
They go there to scout out Firecracker, because she was doing her own little panel that was being hosted by her little cohort Splinter, who we don't see his power. Really what it is until later in the episode.
No, we actually see it when they're setting up, because every one of the guys setting up
yeah, because they had the white shirts on. Yeah.
No, it's one of him.
Yeah, I know, but the one had, the Prime one had a shirt on that said Starlight is a pedo or something like that.
Yeah, he was wearing a dark shirt.
But all like the other ones were like wearing white shirts or whatever. But so he slips out, and they think he has something relating to a Homelander and the Seven and all that. So they try and Kimiko and Frenchie do recon.
Yeah.
They go to this gym, and then they go to like where the steam house is. So they find the phone. They see where they're gonna meet up, and they go to this fucking steam house, and they open the door, and it's like, I don't know, like 6 or 7 dudes, all like human centipede style.
So there's a guy on the ground, spread eagle, jerking himself off while he's eating the ass of the guy above him.
And they're all
who's eating the ass of the guy above him, all the way up to the top of the main guy.
Off to a picture of
Firecracker.
Firecracker.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "It's not what it looks like," and he just goes, "Okay," and he just shuts the door and they leave.
And then he gets pink eye.
Yeah, later on it pays off that he gets pink eye because of his tossing his own salad.
Oh my god, dude! See, and let me just say, like, it's a commentary on people who have too much power, like that guy, wasting it on something selfish. You know, like, I mean, he could like use a lot of himself to like help build houses or something, but no, he uses a bunch of himself to eat his own ass so he can jerk off to.
To a woman,
and all the soups
that
are fucking
uses him because she knows that he's obsessed with her.
Almost all the soups are like that. I mean, only a couple are not. And it's a commentary on our society about how we allow like rich pieces of shit to like
and spread lies about people.
Why
and
the
not have
fuck
any
are
concern.
I mean, revolution, dude. Honestly, fucking. That's another story. That's another day.
Talk about a
revolution. Well, you know, I hope you brought some chips.
That the Tyler Allen version? Because I like it.
Maybe you could get some dip. Well,
Chips and dip is universal. That's loved by all cultures.
I would love a can of Coke.
Coke, I don't know. I don't know how international Coke is.
Coca-Cola.
I mean, I know it's everywhere.
You know what I'm tired of? Face.
You goddamn mind.
It must be out of your butthole, man.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Me?
Oh, Butcher losing his mind, so he keeps talking to someone that we can't see.
Yeah, but it turns out
his
to
brain
be,
is leaking from the temp V.
Turns out to be
his dead wife.
Yeah.
Who convinces him not to fuck over Huey because he says, I can... he goes to Newman and says, we need to work together to get Homelander because I need to get Ryan away from Homelander, get him to Grace because he'll, he's going to bring the apocalypse because he's the first natural-born superhero.
Yep.
And it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
So she's like, get me the files that Huey has that proves she... was it the one that proved that she killed those people? The Congress or whatever?
Something like that.
That blew up all the heads or whatever. But anyway, he's got the thing, and then his dead wife shows up in a vision. It's just like, hey, don't be a piece of shit.
So then he sends her a picture of his own butthole.
He's like, I got the files for you. She sees the text and says, has the files for Huey on you, and then it's his butthole. And you know what's great? Is they didn't cut because she kind of laughs a little, and they don't cut. And I think that actually is a good character moment because even that's like Victoria being like, that fucker got me. Like,
yeah.
I trusted him, and he got me, you know. Because even she kind of... Because even when he shoots her, she's like, get better fucking intel. Like,
yeah.
If you're going to fucking come at me, learn how to fucking kill me.
I
think
mean? She's one of my favorites because she's also...
Such an interesting villain.
Yeah. Homelander, the guy who plays Homelander, Anthony Starr, I don't know why he's not getting, written up for awards all over the place. His ability to just convey so many emotions with just facial tics almost.
Oh, my God. So... First episode, by the way, before we get done talking about it, the gray pubes.
Gray pubes is
he keeps collecting his gray pubes.
Right, but it's such a great way to like. This show is really good at showing you what's happening and making it clear to you without a lot of like wordy exposition. Like, hey, guess what? Homelander feels like he's getting old. Here's how we show that to you. He picks out a gray pube, and then later on, it's a way of saying like, hey,
my stand keeps fucking up. So
whatever.
But
oh, somebody's a stand-up comedian now.
Hey, what's the deal with their
Let's both stand up.
No, well, yeah, and
comedy.
it goes back to like, despite him feeling so much superior, he's still human because he still has that very human feeling
Well, he's
of
still a lab rat, unlike his son.
But you know what I mean? Like he's starting to understand. Like, oh, maybe even before that, yeah, he thought he could live forever, but now he's starting to feel that human emotion of like, oh my God, I'm not going to live forever. What am I leaving behind? What's my legacy?
Mortality.
Like, he's starting to have these existential thoughts that he never had to deal with. And how does he deal with it? He collects his fucking gray pubes in a jar, in a trophy case with his Nazi memorabilia from his dead girlfriend, which was, by the way, a clone of him. Fucking. God, I love this show with how fucking crazy it is.
It's it's pretty out there, and obviously Vicky's daughter is a soup now, and a fucking terrifying one at that because she has things that come out of her mouth.
The first episode she rips those guys to pieces. That's great.
We see Kimiko almost die like 2 times so far in the first 3 episodes.
And so I think Ashley and I both forgot that she got her powers back, or that she got these like regeneration powers again. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Because she just splats like.
Yeah, and then she's fine.
And then like she comes back. It's like the Deadpool.
There are
like,
times during
baby
this.
hand
There
thing.
are times during this season that I understand I understand like it's for shock value. It's to show that like this person is above feels like they're above reproach or human law or whatever. But like I gotta say like sometimes the violence does look a little bit it's a little much. But I know what I'm getting into.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying anything about that. But the guy in Waiting who couldn't pee.
Yeah, that was the dude. That was Splinter.
Splinter.
Yeah.
And I never wanted to see that guy's dick. But I saw it a lot.
Well, it could have just
but
been
here's
a
the
double.
here's the thing.
You don't know if that was his dick.
Fair. Here's the thing, though. I think it's time that we see a lot more dicks and less boobs. And here's why. Because then guys who are shitty about... Well, I don't know where I'm going with this. Fuck the... Whatever.
What was that? I would prefer...
I like dicks.
Let's have a good even titty to dick ratio, It ain't hard math.
I really gotta say, I thought I was going somewhere with that, and then I was like, nah.
For every pair of titties, at least one dick.
One dick.
One dick to 4 tits.
2 sets.
This is the incel ratio. Point is, I can't. Here's my negative review of The Boys. Too much dick. Can't do it. I do.
That's why it's getting.
I do love that fight. That Butcher shows up and fights him with the crowbar.
Yeah.
And just kills him, and he's like,
Kills
"Oh
him
no,
a
not
bunch.
Primes!"
Yeah.
And then all the other like copies finally die.
Like at the same time.
And they're like, "I loved you even from the first like what was it, like Flat Earth video or something like that." It's just sometimes the show gets too real and it gets too violent. But this is what's so even the next episode, there's some really good that's what's so great about the show. There's some really, really funny moments, really crazy, over the top, funny, violent moments. And there's really serious violent moments, and there's really serious character beats. And it's something that I've always appreciated about this show. It's always been about the story. It's always been about these characters. And like in episode 3 where it ends with Homelander talking to himself that's shattered in 4 pieces with 4 different emotions, and he's talking to himself in the mirror. Also in the same episode, Frenchie has a fucking acid trip where he fucking has to confront the fact that the dude he's been fucking is an orphan because of him. And like there's just so many moments like that, and you're also like, this is a comedy. But we're also dealing with shit like
Tilda
this.
Swinton,
Like, it's crazy.
Let's talk about a couple cameos. Tilda Swinton is
a squid.
is the octopus in
The octopus,
Ambrosia.
yes.
And I gotta say, I really, really liked Will Ferrell's cameo at the beginning of season 2.
Oh my god, when he's in
Feral Streep. Feral Streep.
The white.
I'm not giving off too much of a blindside shout out.
The fucking savior, white savior
Yes.
A-Train movie.
Yes.
Yeah, Feral Streep. Yeah, when he's, hey, come on, let's get you out of here.
What does that smell? What does that smell? It smells like Oscar to me.
Everybody, what the fuck is that? Yeah, that was just so good. I love that. Oh, and yeah, the whole time the A-Train was like, I had one coach, it was my brother. Like, he never fucking dealt crack and all this shit. Like, this
and then his brother comes back. So we're also getting kind of seemingly a redemption arc for A-Train, which is going to be tough because he starts the whole story.
It's the thing. I don't buy it either because we've seen it like 3 times, 4 times
and then
at this point.
He's always continuously gone back.
I have watched enough pro wrestling, folks, and so is Kripke. I know he's a pro wrestling fan. I know that we are gonna see some sort of fucking turn. It's gonna happen. I've accepted it, but.
Well, that's I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I got no notes.
Oh yeah, the first 3 episodes, I'm still invested. I know that some people do feel that now that they know that the next season is the last season, that it kind of like hampers us a little bit because now it just feels like setup. I'm
okay with that.
I don't necessarily.
I still want to know who the fuck Noir is.
I think that's the fact that they brought him back and they recast him, and the dude can't fucking figure out the character. He keeps like doing too much and like stop talking, or stop moving,
still talking,
and then he's talking, and then one time I laughed and I told you like he said it musically, where he goes. Also, the cursing in the show is really stepped up. It's great, but. He said when he's talking, he goes, "Shut the fuck up, Noir! Everybody come in!" Like he just said it like such a beautiful like tempo where he's trying to talk like, "I need some direction. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't talk. When I talk, I get yelled at." And he's like, "Shut the fuck up, Noir!" It's like, "Shut the fuck up, Donnie."
And the scene where he tells the Deep to go blow A-Train.
Oh, and he's about to do it, and fucking again, Chase Crawford being so fucking funny as the Deep just looks up and he goes, "Hey, sexuality's a spectrum, bro, right?" And and then Anthony started being like, "Get the fuck up on your knees!" Like, get up, like, because he's just bored. He's bored. He's got everything he ever wanted, but he's bored because he can't quite be the god that he wants to be.
Well, and he's more human than he knows because we're a bunch of fucking idiots and we're unable to be satisfied with even the best of things.
Again, he can't deal the fact that he's human, that he's feeling like he's getting older, and he can't deal the fact that he's human because he's bored, because boredom is a human emotion. Animals don't get bored, they're fighting for their lives every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I could understand how that could feel that way after these 3 episodes, but I don't.
Yeah.
I could also see how it can get a little confusing because there's a lot happening where you've got Newman has her own agendas, Butcher has his own.
Newman!
I also want to give a shout out to the dude who played, I need to pull up his name, Mother's Milk.
Laz Alonso.
Laz Alonso? I'm going to say this right now. Bold statement of the year, and we're in June. You ready for it? We're even recording this on Father's Day. This is how serious this is. I think Laz Alonso has come close. I'm not saying usurped, but come close to topping Samuel L. Jackson for sounding the best when saying motherfucker. Because I'm serious. Watch this show. Watch episode 1 through 3. Anytime he says motherfucker or like motherfucking or motherfucker, anytime, it's great. And I want to applaud him.
I just want to applaud him for wearing such great shirts, and he pulled off a Eric B. and Rakim shirt, which was awesome.
It was really funny because I thought Ashley and I were watching, and we thought that he lost weight, and I was like, no, he just shaved his beard. He's just got a mustache now.
One of my Twitter buddies was like, I am not liking the beardless Mother's Milk.
I don't know. It's grown on me. I wasn't a fan at first.
It is what it is.
But he's looking good.
It is what it is. Hey,
I think people need to know. That bold statement.
Full of crack.
Laz Alonso.
Full of crack.
Might be the best to say motherfucker in the game right now.
Could be.
Might be.
Could be.
Could be.
Could
Just
be.
saying. Anyway.
All right, yeah.
We spent most of the time talking about that, so...
Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.